Hey everybody, Shane Jacks with Dent Pro Upstate here, and up for your viewing pleasure today is an F150 in a beautiful, vibrant red, ruby red color. Here it is, as you can see in this little video. The challenge of this repair is fourfold. One, it's crushed. The fender and the hood are absolutely demolished. Two, this is an aluminum truck. Aluminum presents its own difficulties in repair for paintless dent removal and body shops for that matter. Three is the color. This is a unique color, something that is fairly new for manufacturers anyway. And four, existing paint damage that is on this truck. We can see it in both of the panels here. We see it here kind of in a V shape. We see bare metal right there where it's poking out real hard. And we see it right there on the corner, right there where that light beam's coming through. And then we see, of course, at the top there, bare aluminum, which means that it is aluminum. There's no rust there. If that were steel, there would be rust. Something that I didn't really mention was, you can see it right here after the panel has been worked some. I've lifted some of the depth out of this hood. You can see the little V shape there at the bottom where it was poking way out. There's like 3 lines on each side, and once it comes out and that harsh point is not there, I keep hitting the mic, that harsh point is not there, well, we can see those lines become harsher. That was in both of these panels, and we're going to do everything we can to keep that from getting worse. We'll see what happens. To the average viewer, you're like, hey, man, you're almost done with this. But realistically, no, we're not. We are honestly only about 60% done with this. So let's see what the whole thing turned out, how it turned out. And I know the customer's going to be happy because of what we promised him versus what I'm actually going to give him. Okay, one of the issues with this aluminum hood was access. That was the only real hole I had to go through right there. Had nothing else. We didn't drill any more holes, as you can see right here. And we can see that this turned out pretty dang. Okay, stop right there. I know I was just getting started on showing you the finished product, but I want to talk about that color. Remember, there were 4 big issues with this repair, and one of them was the color, new to manufacturers. Well, I want to explain that right here. And this little simple whiteboard illustration will show you what I'm talking about. What we start with is what is called 2-stage paint. This is what your typical paint job is. What this starts with is, after the primer, a base coat, which we're going to highlight with red here. And then on top of that, you have a clear coat. And as the name implies, it is clear. Well, when you look through this, guess what you see? You don't see anything in the clear. You see the color of the base coat shining through the clear coat, and the clear just makes it shiny. 3-stage paint. What this is, we start with a base coat. We see this in pearls a lot, pearl white especially. You have the base coat, which is white, and then you have a coat on top of that, the second stage, which is opaque, and then you have the clear coat. Well, what happens here? Well, that base coat shines through that opaque coat and the clear coat. Well, guess what happens when you're looking at it? The opaque coat changes the color of that base coat just a bit. It changes the tint. Now, on to 2-stage tinted clear coats. We have a base coat, and instead of having a middle coat, like a tri-stage paint, we have a clear coat that is tinted, and the tint is just shown by these black dots here. Now, what this does is it does virtually the same thing as a tri-stage paint. That's why you can see here in this video, you can see a little bit of difference in the finish. Let's say that. There's a little bit of texture difference there. That's because I wasn't really able to polish this thing. If you take off too much of that clear coat, the tinted clear coat, you will actually change the color of the car. You'll have a big pink spot there. And that is not what we want. But this thing came out fantastic, even though there is a tiny bit of texture difference. We did not damage the paint anymore, and I told the customer to begin with, I said, look, man, this thing is probably going to have all kinds of paint fly off of it where it's already cracked. And I don't know what else is going to happen. I've got to put a lot of heat on this just to keep the integrity of the paint up, but let's see what happens. He really did not want to put a new hood, new fender on it, but now, honestly, I was quite surprised myself at how tight we kept that paint, and really no more paint damage than there was on it before. So customer will be super happy, and that makes me super happy because they tell their friends, and then I get more business, and I get to make customers like you happy. So if you have a car that's a funky color, or if you have a regular colored car and you have some damage like you see here, give us a call at Dent Pro Upstate, 864-420-4027, or visit us on the web, dentprogreenville.com. And I hope to see your car and you in here to get some dents fixed.